Good afternoon, YouTube. It's man always Judge Page, aka the Emperor of WMA Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, last night we had a big event, especially in women's MMA, from one of my favorite companies that represents women's in mixed martial arts, and that is Invicta. It was Invicta 48, and the main event was Taniesha Triple Threat Tennant versus Olga Big Bag Rubin, and this was for the Invicta 135 title. As you know, Tanisha has been a champion for a while. She won a championship last year. I think this is her first title defense since winning the championship. And Olga Rubin, you remember her? She was in Bellator, and she fought for the 145 title a couple of years back. And then she lost that title against Julia Budd. And then for a while, she wasn't doing anything because she lives in Israel. She couldn't fight, so she got cut from the Invicta last year. I'm sorry, Bellator from last year. So this is her debut in Invicta. And this was a stack, I think, for any Victor card, it's pretty stacked. You had 6 fights, and you had pretty much, might say, 3 different divisions. You had, at least 3 bantamweights, 2 flies, and a straw. And, it was a good lineup. I mean, these are impressive women. Some ladies who've been fighting for organizations like Victor and UFC, and then some who's been, Bellator and UFC. I'm sorry, Bellator and UFC, and some that's been making their turn to this organization. So the first fight we had Autumn, the natural Norton versus Maria Duque. Duce, I think Duque is she's from Canada. Sweet. So Maria Sweet Duque. So I want to get it right. And they were fighting at 135. And this was a impressive fight. Both the ladies were throwing hammers. I mean, their nose were bleeding. It was right about the first round. And it was just going back and forth. I mean, a lot of punches and kicks. He got here, Maria throwing a kick and blocking it. And they were really putting on a good defense. I mean, shots here and there. I mean, but then by the start of the midway through the second round, I'm sorry, that you know, Autumn drops Maria with a shot right around the back of her jaw, right on the red, right, and then she just tossed her and jumped on her, dropping hammer fist, and then pretty much the referee stopped it and called the fight by TKO, and that was the winner, Autumn, the natural, Norton, and this was her, I think, her first win in Invicta. This was her Invicta debut. She was 1-1 when she got it. Now she's 2-1. So congratulations to Autumn. Yeah. Next up, we have the big women. We had fighting at 145. We have Amber Leibrock versus Morgan Freer. And Amber used to fight at Bellator herself. She got cut also last year along with Olga. She was like when we got cut by Bellator. And she was making her return to Invicta. She hadn't fought in a good couple of years. And Morgan Freer's been fighting for quite some time. And this was a pretty good fight. I would say it was a short fight. It was quick, pretty much it didn't take much, going back and forth throwing punches. And, Amber drops Morgan and gets on her back and slapped a really naked choke on her and choked her out, and it was over. And it was like about, I think, 3 minutes. And she won her fight by decision. And congratulations to Amber Leibrock, because she was taking a lot of losses back in Bellator. So after she got cut, and then coming back to Invicta and winning her first fight, and she won in a while. So now that's pretty good for her. This is the first fight she's won in the last 2 or 3 years since her cut from Bellator. And next up, you have Melissa Odessa Parker versus Isis, the Fighting Queen Verbeek, and who's Isis is originally from Denmark, and with Melissa, she is a boxer. She used to box, and this was a fight where this was fighting at 115. And I tell you, the 115 girls, they go all out. This is probably one of the fights that went the longest. It was only 3 rounds, and I wish it was a little longer. It was a pretty good fight. But these 2 ladies were going back and forth. Now Isis, she's a Muay Thai fighter. She used her kicks, and she used also her striking. And she used to throw some knees. But Melissa was throwing a lot of punches, being that she's a boxer, and she also do a couple of knees here and there. She did pretty good. I mean, but it was just that I think with Isis is better off skill set with her throwing knees and shots that was really helping out. And then right about the pretty much right about the second round, Isis drops, Melissa with a devastating knee. I mean, but you know what? Melissa, she took it. I mean, she got back up and still kept on striking. At one point, she had Isis against the cage. She almost fell. It wasn't for the cage. I think Isis would have got knocked out, but the cage held her. But she still used her knees and striking. And like I said, Melissa was no slouch. So the fight ended with unanimous decision in favor of Isis, the fighting queen Van der Beek. And then one point she was talking how Melissa was talking junk. I don't, you gotta watch the fight and see how it end. But you know what? It was a pretty good performance by both the ladies. So maybe see more in the future. Also, we had on here we had Leona Pasayo. I want to get a name right. I'm sorry, uh, but Brazil is not good. Versus um, Christina the Warhorse Williams. Christina used to be also like Amber, and Olga was part of Bellator, and she got cut last year. And this is her second fight with Invicta, and this was also Leona's second fight. She was fighting as a strawweight, but she went to 125. But you know what? It was a pretty good fight, but it didn't last too long either. I mean, to tell you the truth, it was just pretty much by the second round, and it was like 1 minute 39 seconds. Um, Christina hits Leona with a good shot. Then she jumped on her and then slapped the rear naked choke on her, and pretty much it was over. The fight ended with a submission in favor of Christina Warhorse Williams. And Christina is also her corner was being one of the ladies who have become friends with Miss Sarah Alpar was working the corner. I sent some pictures to Sarah. She really appreciate the pictures, and I hope also Christina appreciate it because I know sometimes it takes a while for these pictures from Invicta get out because it's not like UFC. They put them out then like pretty much that next day or something like that. But then the next event was a co-main event was Toledo Bernardo. Toledo used to be with the UFC. She got cut some time ago, and this is her debut in Invicta. Now, she was supposed to fight another opponent, but that opponent had to withdraw. So they stepped in as a fellow Brazilian, Yana Gadea. I don't know if she's relation to Claudia. I think Gadea is probably a common name like anything else. But this was a fight at 135 also. And, with Talia's experience, she did all right. But the fact was, Yana was really going strong, throwing some heavy shots, and even she got a takedown. And she was tipping a submission with a leg lock. But what Toledo did was she used her foot and pushed against her, so try to push her off her leg. And that's what you do. Sometimes it's a way to fend off some like a leg lock submission. And then by the time they start the second round, Toledo hits she really shoots for a takedown, got a takedown, and then next she got on Yana's back, and she put in submission, and she choked her out. And this was round about the second round, and it was a submission by rear naked choke. And this was maybe her first win for a while for Toledo. As you know, she was fighting over Bellator. She wasn't doing too well in Bellator. They cut her, and then my friend, the coach, he told me how he said how he sent her some stuff, and he's a fan. My man, coach is a fan of Toledo, and I think she's an impressive fighter. There's a possibility she might be next contender for the 135 title, maybe. It's like I said, right now, that's a possibility. And then you had the main event, Taniesha triple threat Tennant versus Olga Big Bad Rubin. Now, Olga used to fight at 145 in Bellator, and she fought for the title against Julia Budd, but she lost. Now, when the pandemic hit, she couldn't do much fighting because she was stuck in Israel. There was a lot of traveling, and then that's when they cut her from Bellator. And this is going to be Taniesha's first title defense since winning the title. I think last year, and it probably was pretty good. But I feel like pretty much Olga was pretty much putting a lot of pressure on Taniesha. Even got quite a few takedowns, but Taniesha didn't stay on the ground too long. She got back up, and mostly there was most of a lot of cage fighting. There was I think Olga drops a couple good shots, but triple threat was no slouch. She throw some good kicks, and also same thing with Olga. I think Olga was doing more leg kicks, but Taniesha was throwing a lot more shots, and then she at one point even got a takedown. But that point, Olga took advantage of that takedown. She came some kind of a kind of a weird kind of like a triangle choke. I think I heard what the guy called it, but I forgot about it. Trying to remember it. But she was trying to choke Tanisha out, but it wasn't doing no good. Tanisha was calm. She kept uh, her um her right arm in between them. I think her left arm in between them, so she wouldn't be able to get choked out. And at the end, when by the end of the fourth round, when Olga got up, she was wobbling legs because she's straining so much. She tried so hard to get that choke on, and she strained it so much. But then, pretty much, she kept on throwing her kicks and body shots. But Tanisha's throwing good uppercuts, rights, lefts, using her jabs, and she pretty much put up a good show. But in the end, she's really dropping some hammers. One point, if she just had maybe pushed the gas on it, she probably could have took Uga Rubin out. But I think Tanisha kind of fights kind of cautious. She won't take any chances. I understand that, especially somebody like Olga Rubin who fought for the title back at Bellator. And so, now, this was her first title defense, and she's still by split decision the women's, featherweight, sorry, battleweight champion Invicta at 135. Congratulations to Taniesha Tennant. I'm a big fan of hers. I'd love to get on my channel and talk with her, but you know how it is, busy, whatever. But she's still the champion. So congratulations to Triple Threat. This was an opportunity to come and you fought against somebody who was a former title contender at Bellator, and now she's stepping up. We might see more Olga in the future. I mean, there's a good possibility maybe she might fight Toledo for who will get a shot at Tanisha again, or let's go ahead and give Toledo the shot at Tanisha straight out. We might see Olga Rubin again. She was fighting. She hadn't fought for a good while. She fought one fight some time ago, I think about a year ago, and this was be her second fight since she left Bellator. So, congratulations to all the ladies representing women's MMA. It's like I said, it's tough being a woman in mixed martial arts, and to represent yourself. And while I was watching the live stream, people making comments and stuff like that, but people don't understand. Not everybody can just get into the ring, these cage, fight each other, face each other. And these women, they really put their hearts and soul into this fight game. So much respect to all of them representing themselves and also representing MMA. So, like I said again, I want to congratulate the champion, Taniesha Triple Threat Tennant, and it was a great show. And much respect to Shannon Nabb and Invicta for what they've done in the past few years. I mean, I think it's been about 10 years since Invicta started, and they usually had the fights in Kansas City, but this time they had it in Denver, so they changed the venue. And that's a good thing. It was, like I said, the fights was on Access TV. You can catch it on again if you watch it on YouTube, because you can watch it again, and also they had it on Facebook. So congratulations to all the ladies, congratulations to Tanisha Tennant, and hope we see more of this in the future. I think we got a Bellator coming up in September. I think it's Bellator 49. It's supposed to be Julia Corsi versus the champion for 105, Julia DeBone. So go look to you ladies, and that was a great show. And we just made all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of the MMA Talk. Like, don't subscribe. I'm out.